What's up, guys? It's Mark from Eric's Machine. So, I just want to make a little short video in reference to the Made in America video, which I gotta say, I'm super happy to see how many people have commented on it, talked about it, positive or negative. I understand either way somebody looks at this situation. I hope you understand me. So I've grown up in a machining family. My father in the 50s, he's passed away now, is one of the people that helped build and design numerical control 1.5 million years ago. He helped build the equipment that helped build the Apollo and Gemini space shuttle 1 million years ago. Not the shuttles, the machines that built them. He's also the guy that was one of the first people to make an automatic tool changer for a numerical control milling machine, stuff like that. And there's stories that he even told me from 70 years ago, 60 years ago. My dad, if he was still alive now, he would be in his 90s. But hearing stories how parts were copied, you know, machines that they designed would come back from overseas and be copied and have the exact casting flaws and stuff like that in it. So this is something that hits close to my heart in that aspect. I want to make a rebuttal video to a couple of the things that were brought forward, just so that everybody hears it out loud and people don't have to read through the comments on it. So first, I didn't mention any company names. Obviously, with the pipe situation, with the pipe that was copied, you know, most people in the industry knows that that was Wax Racing. He commented on the other video and has been bad-mouthing me and all this stuff. I'm not going to bad-mouth him, in all honesty. I think he's a nice guy. I just don't agree with his business practices. Nor will I ever. You know, and certain people made different comments. So, and I just want to... Everybody knows my opinion already, but, you know, people said different things. One, there's a big difference between a company having their parts manufactured in China or copying parts in China. I understand how those two seem very similar, but they're actually different. So I don't really agree with either one, but there's a big difference in the two. If you take somebody else's intellectual property, what they have worked their part on designing, and just do a direct copy or even an inferior copy like that pipe, to me, that's terrible. I don't agree with it. And I stopped working on those pipes because of issues customers were having with my engines with those pipes over 1.5 years ago, or around that time. I don't know. So, you know, I strongly believe I'm one of the few, if the only person that's actually dynoed a wax pipe. See our dyno right here? Same thing that I told Jared, the owner. You know, send one of those pipes here. We'll do a live stream. I'll live stream the entire thing. We can have people even come down and watch the live stream if they want, so they can see there's no funny business. The pipe makes less power. That's just bottom line fact. It performs worse. The aluminum's crap. Those manifolds crack where they normally don't. They strip where they normally don't. They corrode worse than any others. I've seen them flawed with air holes and pockets and machined off and crooked, and every stretch of the imagination of problems with them I've seen. So I don't want people to keep saying, oh, so-and-so redesigned this with somebody else and they made it better after 30 years. They didn't. And also show me the dyno video that they did showing that it made more power, because there isn't any. And show it dated from 2 years ago when he supposedly did all this, because I call BS, because all the problems with those pipes would have been found out before manufacturing. Also my opinion, but it is what it is. So the reason we dyno tested it was I had a customer I built an engine for. I shipped the engine to them. They put it together. They ran it. It overheated right after break-in and locked up. Sent me the motor back. He sent me everything back so I could go through it and see what happened, because it was dual cooled. It was set up how I said. And at the point, I didn't know he had a wax pipe. So, and it wasn't, to be completely transparent and honest, it was the wax manifold and the wax head pipe. So we went through it, we looked at it, and I started seeing the water passage issues. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work as well as the original, but let's rebuild it. I rebuilt the engine. We put it on the dyno, and I started putting a load to it. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know on dynos, because I have customers that call me to dyno their engine on our dyno all the time. In general, I don't dyno customers' engines. In the last 5 years, the only engine that I have dynoed that was a customer's engine was Chris Scudder's from the Wave Raider grain, and that engine honestly took a bigger beating than any engine we've ever put on a dyno. So you could ask him. I mean, we did 35 or 40 pulls on that engine, playing with all different stuff. But he was a long-time customer, and we were trying to figure out an issue he was having with the ignition, and he was killing the motor, basically. He killed the center hole a couple times. Actually, I think he only killed it once. But we put it together, and we tested the ignition on the dyno. We tested it with a stock ignition. We tested it with a 1200 ignition, which that's what I mainly use this for. I don't use this for bashing other companies, calling other people out for their claims. I didn't even call Wax out for this. This was brought up afterwards by people defending him that he improved it. He didn't. So, and as I said, I will be happy. I will buy a brand new factory pipe from Factory Pipe. If Jared wants to send one of those pipes here brand new in the package, we will open each one up on the live stream. I will have 2 motors set up. I will have a 61X and I'll have a 62T. We will bolt them on and tune them. This dyno, I can run up to 8 EGTs. I can run an O2 sensor in the exhaust. I can run temperature sensors in the water tanks to see that the engines are getting the same water temperature, everything. And all of this can be on a data sheet that's printed out from the computer to show that there's no funny business. So somebody saying that, oh, I'm going to play with the numbers or something like that. If you understand dynos, if you take all the data, if you actually have EGTs and AFR, it's like you're not going to be able to play with it that way. Nor would I. Like, I don't have a leg in this game. In all honesty, we don't sell factory pipes. Customers bring them to us because there's not enough money in them for us to sell them. We just use them, we port them, and we modify them. I've never sold a wax product, nor will I ever. It's against me. If he ever manufactured the parts in Australia, or in the US, or at really most places other than China, I would be happy to carry and push his products, which I also said in the comment down below. It's what I stand for, and it's what I believe in. So, it is what it is. So, same thing. I have a flow bench. I'm going to do a little short just showing some of the tooling that we have in this shop. I mean, we got cool equipment like this. Our flow bench, 110 CFM flow bench. Works great for testing carburetors. Also, when we port intake manifolds, modify pipes, stuff like that. But we have equipment to do testing to know that what we're saying is true. It's the beauty in actually knowing what you're doing, because you'll be amazed. There's certain things that we've worked on that I've modified things and go like, oh man, this is going to run so much better. It runs like crap. We throw it on a flow bench and go, oh wow, whatever I just did not help that issue. So, just saying, oh, this makes 20% more power, this flows 20% more airflow. Like, if you haven't actually checked it, you're just lying. So when you listen to people talk about certain things, think for a second and go like, where's the tooling that you check this stuff on? Excuse the mess, but we use it all the time. Our 20-inch swing metal lathe. One of 3 valve grinders that we use in the shop. Our porting bench, which most of you have seen a lot of. Van Norman 50 taper mill. Quickway cylinder head machine, rod and cap grinder, our Bridgeport mill, 777S4 944 boring bar, and our Power Stroke rod hone. Our IDL head machine. Old machine, works really, really good for doing valve guides. Honing machine. Vapor hone. Awesome machine. I'm one of the few shops that I have a flow bench and I have an engine dyno. Not many performance jet ski shops have those two tools. Both of them are extremely expensive and you need to know how to use them. You know, we've tested all kinds of parts with this stuff, seeing flame arresters that work better or not. Some of them, you'd be amazed which ones actually work better. So people saying that I'm like making this stuff up, like I don't have a leg in the game to make it up. I build engines, and at this point we don't even really work on skis anymore. We just do engines. That's all I try to do for the most part, is engines. We machine them, we port them, we send them out. So, you know, I don't have a leg in the game other than I don't want my customers to have issues with my engine because of a different product that they bolt on the engine. You know, and to the same token, if you're buying something that's made in China that is only a couple dollars cheaper, why? Like, I understand if you have a money problem and, you know, you have an option between a $200 part or a $500 part, like, that's a really, really hard thing to argue against. And I understand it. I still say I would prefer you go the other way, but I know a lot of customers that honestly can't do it the other way, and I get that. There's nothing, I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong, but it's life, you know, and everybody wants to play with their toys. I build toys for a living. That's what I do. So I understand that. I just wanted to make this all seen and known, that everybody, I don't want to hear an argument that that pipe makes more power. Wax is welcome. Jared is welcome to come to the shop and dyno it while we do it. Obviously, it would be a plane flight from Australia. You know, I mean, he could probably stop in China on the way to bring the pipe if he wanted to. Or they could ship it direct, you know. I hope everybody understands that. You know, I'm just telling people issues that I've seen with products. And that main video was to talk about an issue that's been happening in the industry. And it's not just him. Like, there's other people copying parts. But that B-pipe is not the only thing that Wax has copied. There are many other parts that he has copied. And people that freak out the way he did, it's normally because you have a guilty conscience. My opinion. You know, I'm still not going to badmouth him. I think he's a nice guy. I'm sorry we're in this situation, you know, but if you don't copy parts, nobody calls you out for it. That's really, you know, they were a direct copy of a factory pipe. That's what they were. You know, he went, my opinion, he went with the FX1 pipe so that there would be less of a leeway to say like, oh, well, they don't make that anymore. Hearing people argue, you know, factory pipe's not making the pipe anymore. Somebody should, you know, copy it. Make your own. There's 100 different ways to make a pipe. Copying it's the easiest way. Like, if you want that pipe, if you want a blaster mod pipe for say, call Factory Pipe, see if they'll sell you the molds for it. Maybe they never want to make it again. They might not. But talk to them. Talk to a pipe designer and have them build you 50 chambers that are similar. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's a bunch of fabricated pipes that perform better than original factory pipes. There's a lot of them out there. They work amazing. My problem comes in when you do direct copies. That's it. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you liked the other video. If you didn't see the other video, you're probably lost at the moment. But go check it out if you want to. I hope everybody has a great day. I really appreciate everybody watching the channel. And thanks, guys.